there are lots of specific sessions that we attend that relate to pastoral inclusion themes, and there's also a day conference that's sort of dedicated around inclusion and engagement, and sessions like this. But also, it's really, I don't teach, as I said before, so but I still find it fascinating and really, really useful and insightful to know more about pedagogy, and to know about issues that affect different subjects. You know, as how there may be things that I need to do differently in the English department as opposed to the PE department, you know, different strategies because they're different sort of turmoils or conflicts. And I find that pastoral leaders generally can be more objective. That, you know, as you said, when you're generally thinking about your own subject all the time, where we have to think about the whole child and look at things much more holistically. I'm also doing, well, we are all also doing a coaching course, and that was really fascinating insight into coaching. So not just being coached, but becoming coaches ourselves, and facilitation skills. At the current Cohorts Day conference next Saturday, I'm delivering some workshops on some inclusion themes in the afternoon. We also have what's called a PSDG, which is a pastoral subject discussion group, and I think it's about every 6 weeks it works out, we all come up, all the pastoral leaders that are on my cohort, and we have a small group meeting which is led by the person that leads ours is a psychotherapist. I don't know if that's coincidence or it's, you know, been made that way. He works mainly in the education field. And what happens is we're asked to come with a few issues that we may be struggling with, and then we all share our issues, and then as a group we decide which ones we're going to focus on. Generally it's 2 that we'll focus on, and then the person shares their issue in a bit more detail, and it's not about us saying, why don't you do this, do that. It's about talking about it, unpicking it, you know, asking how they feel, why this might be happening. And we may say, oh, that similar thing happened to me and this is what we did. And then the person with the issue then shares with the group 2 things that they're going to try from our discussion. Now, they don't have to, it's not, you know, but if they've got 2 things, and then at the next session, we start the session by reflecting on what happened. You know, we'll recap on the issue, what happened, how did it go, and then we'll start the process over again. And it is really powerful, and it's brought us together as a really strong group. And I've seen the change in me in the group as the groups have gone along and begun to enjoy them more and more and look forward to them. We also have sessions on whole school themes. I've been to 2 sessions on whole school strategic thinking, and that's fascinating because it's learning more about how a school is led and managed, and just looking at the bigger picture when you're looking at things like the curriculum. Everybody in Teaching Leaders has, well, on our cohort they're called participation experience managers, and that's our sort of link person at Teaching Leaders, and they are so supportive, and they're there, you know, 24/7 if you want them to be, for help and support. But being on Teaching Leaders has really, for me, it's made me think so much more about my own practice and how I'm perceived by others, by all the stakeholders, not just by the students, by my colleagues, by parents, governors, you know, the community. I do think much more about how I act and how I think and the impact of what I do and say. It's helped me to understand my strengths and weaknesses. We go through various programs where we look at psychometric type testing things, where we identify our strengths and weaknesses and our styles of learning, and that's such an eye-opener. And I see my language has changed in school, and I always look at things and I say, that's good leadership. Oh, that's good leadership. And some of my colleagues have a little giggle at that, you know, but it just comes out, you know. And since being on the programme, I've been given a responsibility for a whole school priority for whole school mentoring, and we've got 150 staff leading mentoring sessions, and it started off where I had to devise the programme, but eventually part of being a good leader is getting other people to do it, inspiring others, and now other pastoral leaders are now running their own mentoring sessions for their year groups, and the next step is to get the mentors to devise their own programmes in conjunction with the students. So that's a responsibility that I've been given as a result of the change in me from being on student leaders. But I've given a talk before to aspiring cohort, was it? Or
well, the current cohort.
The current
they've just
cohort.
Gone onto the programme.
They've just got onto the programme, and I was asked to come and give a talk to them about, and it was just anything you like about teaching leaders, and I said I want to talk about the best thing about being on teaching leaders is your coach, and I know that Camilla talked about coach as well, and it's funny because it's almost the wording that you use is the same wording. My coach has inspired me to believe in myself, and it does sound a bit corny, but that's the truth. You know, at my age I still didn't know really where I was going, or have that confidence, although I appear outwardly confident, have that confidence to really to go for it. And there's nothing that she tells me to do, it's just the inspirational way that the coaches work with you, and very non-judgmental, and just getting me to really think about what I want. My coach is a very experienced head teacher in she's worked in lots of challenging schools. She's an Ofsted inspector, and she's got her own company running facilitation and coaching sessions. But when I'm with her in our 2-hour sessions that sometimes run to 3 or 4 hours because it's so wonderful, she makes me feel that I'm the most important person to her. I can contact her any time by email, by telephone, and sometimes I just send her an email just to rant about something. So rather than going, I just put it in a mail, and she just says, yes. I don't want a response. I don't want her to tell me what to do. I just want to let it go. And I feel really proud when I walk through the school with her. I'm really proud because our head teacher left at Christmas. Our head teacher is the ex-head teacher, the most inspirational woman I've ever met, and she's now gone to Walworth Academy. She was headhunted to Walworth Academy. And in her leaving speech, she spoke about what inspired her to be such an inspirational person was her coach, and her coach is my coach. And at that meeting, and at that speech that she gave, where members of staff were crying because she was leaving, children were distraught, the whole community were distraught. I sat there and I said to my colleague sitting next to me, and that's what my coach is doing for me. And it sounds really cheesy and corny, but it really all sort of fell into place. So, that really is the best bit about it. It's quite life-changing, I think, for me. And when I speak to other colleagues on teaching leaders, they all say the same about their coach. That's it.
Carol, thank you.